relationship we have with our viewers. So smart, so informed, it allows us to deliver powerful analysis, the sharpest viewpoints on the issues that really matter.
Hi folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Hi, I'm Kirk Kaiser, and did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000? And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family is going to get stuck with the bill. Don't let that happen. Call right now. And if you're over 50, you can get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed. That's right. If you're over 50, you can't be turned down for this insurance, regardless of your health. Plus, there's no medical exam and no health questions. Your rate will never go up. Your coverage will never go down. And rates start as low as $5 a week. Your coverage begins as soon as your application is received. Don't wait until it's too late.
Just call
800-342-0031.
Coverage is guaranteed regardless of your health and cannot be canceled without your approval. Don't leave your family with a huge bill for your funeral. With one fast and easy call, get up to $30,000 in affordable life insurance to help cover funeral expenses and credit card debt, and maybe even leave something for your kids and your grandkids. Remember, if you're over 50, you can't be turned down, regardless of your health. There's no medical exam and no health questions. Best of all, your rates start as low as $5 a week, and your rate will never increase. Nothing is more important than family. So don't leave them with a lot of bills to pay when you're gone. Don't leave your family with a lot of bills to pay for your funeral. Call right now. Acceptance is guaranteed. Call right now.
Call now.
800-342-0031. That's 800-342-0031.
Welcome back. It may be Friday, but the news is not slowing down. In about an hour, the White House will host an event titled the Great Historic Investment in Rural Health Roundtable.
Also, Iran's exiled Crown Prince will be holding a news conference to address the situation unfolding in his country.
Then at noon today, First Lady Melania Trump will deliver a speech on artificial intelligence, focusing on both the benefits and the risks of the emerging technology.
Newsmax will be covering all of these live events, so that means don't touch the dial, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Always something on a Friday, John, and these events are incredibly important. I'm also looking forward to the First Lady's speech on AI.
Exactly. Although we have to move on, you don't.
That's right.
But why? Because you want to remain in the know. That means stay with Newsmax. But we have to go. That'll do it for us this Friday morning.
Have a great weekend.
Important topics, in-depth conversation. Focus today, weekdays only on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is the branch of Iceland right here.
Well, this morning, yeah, you could say that.
It's really icy out there this morning and dry. You know what's interesting? I came through 2 layers of fog this morning. So at my house, it was just barely clear.
Okay.
I got into my truck and I drove to the end of my driveway. It was foggy. I get down to the road. It cleared up.
Okay.
I drive about 3 miles and I hit a bank of fog all the way in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of layered.
I hit spots 26 degrees on the way in this morning in spots.
It's really icy out there. Drive carefully.
Chilly out there.
Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. We got all the news, which is, wait 5 minutes. It'll be different. We have a lot of interesting things on the show today, so stick around. And Jerry decided to come to work.
Yeah.
One of those rare moments.
I creeped in, the fog wall again is on the other side, on this side of Shady Cove, by Trail Christian Fellowship. Yeah. And then you just got to be really careful on the way in because it's white in front of you, it's white on the roadway, your tires are slipping. Most people are not in a hurry this morning, and I hope you aren't as well. Be careful out there. Okay, well, guess what? This is good for people who like nothing at all because it's National Nothing Day. Americans have a day where you can just sit without celebrating, observing, or honoring anything.
That's kind of like around here, isn't it?
So here's a twist. We go from nothing to everything.
Oh, okay.
Because everything is, it's National Religious Freedom Day.
Oh, well, there you go.
It protects your ability to worship, to pray, to follow your faith. And again, in this great country, we get to do that. Mm-hmm. And of course, the statute that guarantees freedom of religion in the United States is the First Amendment.
Yep.
And it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right. Enjoy that and celebrate it. It's also National Without a Scalpel Day. I'd like to be able to enjoy that, but scalpels have been a big part of my life.
I was going to say, you're back on the calendar there.
Yeah, it could be the case. Each year on National Without a Scalpel Day,
really,
we recognize the opportunities to treat diseases without a scalpel. It was on this day, Perry, in 1964, that pioneering physician Charles Dotter performed the very first angioplasty. The groundbreaking procedure to open a blocked blood vessel took place in Portland, Oregon. Wow. Not only did the angioplasty allow the patient to avoid leg amputation surgery, but she left the hospital days later with only a Band-Aid. Angioplasty is being done in a lot of things now. Heart procedures, blocked veins. Yeah. Gosh, they do these ablations now. Yeah. They go up the same. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's amazing what's going on in angioplasty.
Yeah, one of the. It's become so common. I saw a cartoon quite some time ago, and the guy was going in from one, and the sign above the door was "Stents are us." So,
oh, that's good.
There you go.
And then, top it all off, one thing to eat. I don't know if you want it, but you may. It's National Fig Newton Day.
Oh.
Philadelphia baker and fig lover Charles Roser invented and patented the machine which inserted fig paste or fig jam into a thick pastry dough. The Cambridge, Massachusetts-based Kennedy Biscuit Company then eventually purchased the recipe from Roser. The company began mass production, and by 1891, they produced the first fig Newtons baked at the F8 Kennedy Steam Bakery. The company named the pastries after the town of Newton, Massachusetts, and then the Kennedy Biscuit Company and the New York Biscuit Company merged to form the National Biscuit Company, which they called Nabisco. The new company trademarked the fig rolls as Fig Newtons. However, they rebranded the name to Newtons in 2012. Now, did you know that Fig Newtons are the third most popular cookie in the United States, with over 1 billion consumed every year?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they are good.
Yeah, they are. And unlike traditional cookies, Fig Newtons have a soft, cake-like texture, which led Nabisco to market them as cake until the 1980s. And the filling is made with a blend of different types of figs, including Black Mission, Calamurna, and Adriatic figs, which contribute to its unique flavor profile.
Well,
there you go.
I like them.
And the big myth is that they were named after Sir Isaac Newton.
Oh.
They weren't. It was Newton, Massachusetts.
Newton, Massachusetts.
There you go. Have a Fig Newton and enjoy.
Well, that's good stuff. Here's a guy that puts even jalapeno sauce on his Fig Newton.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With dominating high pressure continuing over the northwest, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 52 in McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, sunny and mid-50s in Salem, but patchy, dense fog, then clearing to sunny with daytime high temperatures near 53 for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows in the low 30s. Sunny and calm today across central Oregon with high temperatures in the upper 40s for Prineville and mid-40s around Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, areas of dense fog, then sunny and low 40s. Sunny skies continue today along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, and Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California, with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, patchy, dense, freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then sunny and mid to upper 40s for Grants Pass and Medford, and 54 in Ashland. Sunny skies for the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high near 50 and low tonight in the mid-20s. Sunny skies continue from Redding with a high near 68 through Chico near 66 and Sacramento in the low 60s. Another day with sunshine over the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, mid-50s in San Francisco with a light northeast wind, and low 70s in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
There's a picture of our valley. We have kind of layers of freezing fog out there this morning. It's kind of interesting. So it's not totally socked in, but it could as you get closer to a sunrise. So drive carefully. A lot of ice out there.
Well, time for some great encouragement this morning with the Reverend Billy Graham.
The preaching of the cross is foolishness to them that perish. 1 Corinthians 1:18, but unto us which were saved it is the power of God. What the world counts foolish, we have rested our eternal salvation on. And when you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, turn your back on the pleasures and the sensual lust and things of this world, people think you're a fool. The world that does not know Christ looks foolish to me. Why can't they see? Why can't they understand? I want to grab everybody I see on the street and everybody we pass, everybody in the hotel. I want to grab them and say, look here, Christ could change your life. I see their empty faces and I see hear the hollow laughter. And I see them drinking, trying to drink themselves into some happiness, or taking the drugs and that hollow stare that they have. And I say, oh, if I could only just shake them loose. But you see, only the Holy Spirit can do that. I cannot do the work of the Holy Spirit for him. The Holy Spirit must convict them of sin. He must also lift this veil that's over their minds. And so salvation is of the Lord, the Bible says. If anyone desires wisdom, let him take his place in identification with Jesus Christ. What the world calls foolish, I'm resting my salvation on.
Yeah, it's, you ever talk to somebody that just doesn't want to hear it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think we all have, yes.
Yeah, and you kind of go, okay, where are you coming from? What's your paradigm? What's your thinking pattern? You know? And I think he makes a good point there. Just remember, you're either planting seeds or watering seeds. You're not the harvester. We want to plant, water, and harvest in one conversation.
Yeah.
That rarely happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Yahoo. Let's take a look at some of the big stories out there. And the Middle East is the Middle East, okay? But this is an interesting story. This kind of popped up a little bit yesterday in some of these interviews that we aired yesterday, especially Christy Bloom, who's with the Jewish News Syndicate. Her biggest concern is who's advising the president as to what to do in Iran. Well, several Middle Eastern countries, I should say, allies of the United States, have urged the Trump administration to hold off on strikes against Iran for the government's deadly crackdown on protesters, according to some of the news headlines back there. Top officials from Egypt, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have raised concerns in the past 48 hours that the U.S. military intervention would shake the global economy and disabled and already the violent region. Really? I'm wondering about that. Now, what does Egypt, Oman, and Saudi Arabia and Qatar have to lose if Iran goes down? Can you tell me what it is? When actually they win. So I don't get this. And I would say that the president is under a lot of pressure. However, the White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt said yesterday that all options remain on the table. So he's under a lot of pressure with allies in the Middle East not to do it. And the question is, why don't you want me to do this?
Yeah.
You haven't given me. What do you mean I'm going to disable or disable or somehow create instability? Iran's created their own instability.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I don't know. There's probably something about this I don't know.
Yep.
Along those lines, Secretary Bassett said yesterday that sweeping new sanctions on Iran seems to be working quite well, and the rats are running. And here's what he had to say.
President Trump has put down a red line that this killing of innocent civilians, which is apparently in the thousands now, unarmed people being shot in hospitals, being shot on the streets, being shot with their children. This has got to stop, and President Trump is going to see to that. Yeah. And Rob, the other thing as Treasury, who carries out the sanctions, we can see is we are now seeing the rats fleeing the ship, because we can see millions, tens of millions of dollars being wired out of the country, snuck out of the country by the Iranian leadership. So they are abandoning ship, and we are seeing it come into banks and financial institutions all over the world. And what we do at Treasury is we follow the money, whether it is through the typical banking system or through digital assets. We are going to trace these assets, and they will not be able to keep them.
So they're transferring money by the millions out of the country. Wow. So and the question is where and what countries will receive this? And is that an indication where the rats will go to?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to send money out of the country, don't you want to go there to get it? So the only thing I can say about all of that is there's still great controversy over the Shah's son, who has come on the scene. And some say that people demonstrating in Iran want him. Most say they don't want him.
Oh, okay.
And the Trump administration is not sure if he wants them. So where he seems to be the guy in the forefront of possibly becoming the leader, it's a mixed bag as to who really wants him and doesn't want him. Because is he reformed? And can he be held accountable, so to speak?
Well, yeah, and I don't know if anybody's talking about putting him in with full power. I don't know how this would work. I would hope that they would think that they would develop some type of, democracy, some kind of form of government where people have a say in what's going on.
Well,
maybe a republic.
Instead of putting him in,
a real
put him up for election.
Yeah, right. Or have him as a figurehead like King Charles.
Well, there you go. Yeah, well, I mean, the interesting thing is that the disdain of his leadership in the East, Middle East is still, or his father's, I should say,
right, yeah,
is still there. And so I don't know. I read 2 articles on it yesterday, and they were diabolical.
Well, and one of the problems with his dad too, in the eyes of the mullahs and some of those hardliners in the military, was the westernization of the country, and that can be a real problem for fundamentalists in the Muslim faith.
Well, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's probably why even some of our allies in the Middle East, at the end of the day, the president needs to understand this is a religious issue more than it is a diplomatic issue.
Good point.
And if you believe in Allah, you believe in Allah, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on.
Right.
At the end of the day, we're infidels.
Exactly.
And so how far do you trust a guy that thinks you need to be dead?
Yeah, and where it's illegal to change your religion.
Yeah.
You know, we celebrate Freedom of Religion Day in this country. Well, there you can't change.
There you go. Yeah. All right, the other story is, that we're heading towards January 30th, which could mean a physical shutdown of the government. However, even though the Dems relented yesterday, the Senate sends a $174 billion spending package to the president's desk. Now, I was digging around yesterday trying to figure out what's in this thing. In a brief series of delay tactics deployed by the Democrats, the Senate's passed a $174 billion spending package sending the trio of funding bills to the president's desk. The move puts Congress one step closer to averting a partial government shutdown, but lawmakers are only halfway through the completing and passing the legislation needed to keep the lights on in Washington, D.C. Some of it has to go back to the House. Now, the sticky point, health care.
Yeah.
Okay, and the president said he has now a big, beautiful health care plan. We just don't know what it is. Okay, and the Democrats want to subsidize Obamacare and keep it alive. And the president has clearly pointed out, and guess what? And more evidence is coming when he pointed out that Obamacare was nothing more than a money delivery system to the insurance fat cats.
Exactly. Yes.
So kind of interesting, don't you think? Yeah.
All
right.
You gonna take a break?
Well, maybe. What do you got?
I got one thing to add in here. In the Department of Actions Speak Louder Than Words.
Oh, yeah, that department.
Did you see this? Now, we saw Kamala Harris run for president, and she was on this Green Deal, and she was talking about the rising oceans and the melt-off, and she even was quoted as saying, those who live in coastal communities, those who are on the coast, are on the front lines of the climate crisis and the climate change issues. And so her and her husband, Doug Emhoff, just bought an $8.15 million beach house in Malibu. Can you believe it? So did she not believe what she was saying?
Is that above the fire line?
Is this just, is this just politics?
Oh, it's
oh my gosh!
I think the good thing about modern day communication and digitals and podcasts and all this stuff. You can't hide anything anymore. You're going to get exposed.
Exactly.
It's just the way the game is played. All right, we're going to play another game and take a break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
We stumble and it all goes wrong. Only you can make it right. So I say, I'm learning to be the light.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
When plumbing emergencies hit, and they do, you want help from a plumber you can trust, and you need it now. Onnit Plumbing to the rescue. Onnit Plumbing gets the job done right with integrity and quality craftsmanship. Onnit Plumbing offers military discounts, senior discounts, and discounts for KDOV listeners too. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Onnit Plumbing, CCB 229436. No job too big or small. Onnit Plumbing does them all. See us at onnitplumbing.net. onnitplumbing.net.
Every January, millions of Americans chase the dream of improving their health. But by February, most have already quit. Now there's help to break that cycle and enjoy real change. From stocking your pantry to building a workout routine, from strengthening relationships to fixing your sleep. With these experts' life-changing tips, your pursuit of a joy-filled life can become a habit worth keeping.
Watch the 700 Club, weekdays at 11 on the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. 20 minutes past the hour on your beautiful Friday morning, going into what's going to be a pleasant weekend, cold, clear, but we have a problem called stagnation.
Yeah.
And the air quality out there is not good. So be careful if you have those issues. All right, some backyard news. Oregon, because of another interesting federal judge, said that Oregon is not required to give the federal government voting data.
What?
Yeah, the federal judge tentatively ruled yesterday that the Oregon does not have to hand over personal identifiable data of more than 3 million Oregon voters to the federal government. Now, this was an issue that popped up. The U.S. government Department of Justice demanded last summer that Oregon and other states hand over a wide range of information, including the full names, date of birth, residential address, driver's license number, or partial Social Security numbers for every registered voter. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. Can the feds enforce this anyway on a federal election?
Oh.
Now, on a state election, that's something else.
Yeah, right.
Well, on a federal election, so this judge said no. He's temporarily saying that no, you can't do this. But I'm wondering under a federal election if you can.
I wonder too.
That they can enforce it. So does this get appealed? Now remember this, ladies and gentlemen, about this whole issue that's so interesting. Just a couple of days ago, we had the story where Oregon has admitted possibly 800,000 voters in this state are illegitimate.
Yeah.
That's 27% of the voting populace could be corrupted.
Wow.
Now you talk about swaying elections. There it is. But the bottom line here is that we'll see. The temporary federal judge said no. So I don't know where this is going to go. Is this another rogue judge in a blue state doing his
That's
thing?
the first thing that came to mind, because oftentimes when we see these stories, included in the story is who appointed the judge.
Yeah.
Which administration this judge comes from, and that oftentimes is very telling about the decision the judge makes.
By the way, he was appointed by President Biden.
Well, shocking.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, here's another kind of interesting good news. According to the Portland State University's Homeless Research and Action Collaborative Center, now there's one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oregon has made significant progress in reducing unsheltered homelessness. The last point in time count reveals that 40% of reduction among families with children and a 4% overall decrease since 2023.
Wow.
So what are we doing about this? Are we moving them on? Are we addressing some of the issues? Are we providing services and housing? So whatever it is, it's working.
Something, yeah.
And to both of ours chagrin. Now, I'm going to lose a bet. And he's going to lose recreation. Okay, and that is that Mount Ashland Ski Area pauses indefinitely operations for lack of snow. That doesn't have it. So I'm sorry to announce that, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. That's kind of what's going on at that end. All right, let's take a look at the satellite image for you this morning. What is it?
More of the same. We see that big old jet stream taking that big band of moisture and moving it up to the north and up and around us. And as we look at the west coast of the United States, it looks like nothing but clear skies. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of morning fog in a lot of the places up and down the west coast. But more of the same coming our way. A lot of sunshine and inversions. Air inversions are kind of the norm right now, but be careful because it is foggy, it is cold, the road is very frosty out there. Okay, well, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says that artificial intelligence is doing interesting things and discusses the next phase of retail investing on Fox Business in depth. Let's listen.
Yeah, I think that's actually the thing that worries me most about the disruption that's coming. So even though we've seen disruption like this in the past, we have a feeling that it's going to be more rapid. So the velocity, the rate of change, and the acceleration makes us very nervous. And I think that what's also a little bit unique about this moment is that retail investors don't have exposure to the lion's share of the companies doing interesting things. In particular, there's no pure play large language model company that's public and accessible to retail. If you look at OpenAI or Anthropic or xAI, none of those are accessible to retail investors, and the companies behind these technologies are getting to the valuations of hundreds of billions in the private markets. And that's accruing only to the relatively small group of institutional investors and venture capitalists that keep getting wealthier and wealthier. Compare this with crypto, for example. Crypto is the other major technological shift that's happened in the past 10 years. And it kind of started out being available to retail. It was just as easy for a normal person in their basement or garage to get a hold of Bitcoin as it was to an institution. Somewhat easier, you could argue.
Right.
So now you're at the point where, if there's even the slightest hint of regulatory overreach, there's not just, venture capitalists and institutions fighting against it, but you have like a huge crypto retail army, millions of people that are voting. They're actually like vocal supporters of these technologies and companies. And I don't think you see that with AI. With AI, you have like venture capitalists that invest in the companies and researchers that work there that are defending them. And I think that if that's not fixed, and we're working very hard to fix that with some of our initiatives here, it could become a real headwind to innovation and could actually, just be a barrier to making sure the U.S. stays at the frontier of this awesome technology.
I am not convinced, and I talked to a lot of people that are.
Okay. Oh, yeah?
Joel Block is pretty bullish on this.
All right.
I think the president at times gets kind of bullish on this.
On the crypto thing?
Yeah, he'll move towards it and he'll talk about it, and then he moves away.
Yeah.
I think that my concern is, and I guess I'm just an old guy now, but what's it backed by? It's backed by emotions.
Yeah.
It's not backed by anything substantive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you noticed these people that you never hear it in the news, but in one day they go completely broke?
Right, and then somebody goes to jail for fraud, and I'm thinking, how? What? How did they defraud? What did they? It makes you nervous even thinking about crypto. It's like, wait a minute, this is like one of the weird situations that I don't think we fully understand it, but it's being pushed.
Well, I don't know if you want to take your silver bars down and trade it in for crypto overnight.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are some of the top stories this morning, and we don't need crypto to sniff out a croissant.
No, and we don't need Fig Newtons, but the croissant will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back.
All right.
Everything breathing, praising God in the company of all.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, this is Ed, co-owner of Visiting Angels. To continue to serve our seniors, we need more caregivers with a heart to serve. Our mission statement is honoring the art of giving, which means we honor you, the caregiver. We know it's our people that make Visiting Angels the best in-home care provider and a great place to work. Come be our next amazing caregiver. Give us a call or apply online. At Visiting Angels, we're committed to you because we honor the art of giving.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
All right, good morning. Welcome back. Happy Friday. We like Fridays.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
This is the original TGIF. I know they had a TGIM, and that was like trying to make fun of TGIF.
Yeah. The trouble with this place is, we're really busy on Friday mornings, but it doesn't take long for this place to clear out.
Well, don't give away one of our weaknesses.
Oh, man. It's amazing.
I actually literally have to schedule work late mornings and early afternoons, or this place becomes a ghost town.
I know.
Anyway, good morning.
Good thing this is a morning show.
Happy Friday to you. Well, listen, things are still very tense in Iran, and apparently they're saying that the forces have backed off from killing their citizens. One day they're on, next day it's off. Who do you believe?
Right.
You got to snoop around the Middle East news sources to find out what's going on. So let's check in with CBN Newswatch and find out.
This is CBN Newswatch.
It is Friday, the 16th of January. We want to begin this half hour with what could be next for Iran, as Iranians and the Middle East are waiting to see what action President Donald Trump will take in response to the rebellion against the Islamic regime. Chris Mitchell brings us the story. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
Even with reports of up to 30,000 killed, Iranian-born activist Dr. Amir Hamidi tells CBN News the uprising continues and springs from the heart of the Iranian people.
From Azerbaijan to Balochistan to Kurdistan to southern part of Iran, from Tehran to Tabriz to Mashhad, I hear one voice, and they want a regime change. They want a freedom. They want a normal life.
Hamidi says the regime has enlisted foreign mercenaries to break the rebellion.
There are growing allegations that Tehran is leaning on allied militia from Iraq, Hashd al-Sha'abis, and Fatimiyun and other proxy networks to intimidate and attack Iranians because some elements of its own forces hesitating, fracturing, and refusing to fire on their own people.
Are you actually saying, as you referred to, actually some of the military refusing to actually fire on the protesters?
That's what I'm hearing, because they are falling apart inside their military forces because they seen their own family in the street. They seen their friends and their neighbors on the streets. And then my understanding, some of them are hesitant to fire back on the people.
This Iranian woman, whose father is part of the regime, risked her life by calling in to a talk show. With a message that help is on the way, Iranians are looking for U.S. intervention. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Task Force is on the way to the region, but there are some reports Trump has decided not to intervene.
The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN Michael Wall says the U.S. supports the Iranian people risking their lives for freedom.
Well, this is our message. President Donald J. Trump and the United States of America stands by the brave people of Iran. Period.
The delay so far by the U.S. is disappointing to Iranians, but some analysts say President Trump sent similar messages before attacking Iran's nuclear sites last June. He also needs time to put military assets in place. If the Iranian regime does fall, many believe it would be a game changer of historic proportions. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi explained on his Facebook page how Iran would be different.
In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism. In diplomacy, relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored.
Restored relations with America would be a sea change. from a regime that daily calls for death to the U.S.
And Chris Mitchell joins us now to continue our coverage. So, Chris, the White House says all options are on the table. What actions could the U.S. take to help bring down the Iranian regime? And are there concerns about the use of U.S. military force?
Well, Ephraim, here in Israel, there are concerns that the air defenses here in Israel might be overstretched right now, maybe not enough interceptors to combat against any Iranian ballistic missiles. And that's why there's been reports this week that Prime Minister Netanyahu actually asked President Trump to wait for a little bit. The concerns it could be a long military campaign, and that's why we hear that President Trump wants something decisive, a military strike that without an extended campaign. In terms of the reports about Trump backing down, Senator Lindsey Graham is saying they're beyond inaccurate, and he says, stay tuned. Senator Graham, by the way, says he's coming to the region because it's at such a crucial time in Middle East history. And in terms of what the U.S. can do there, and with all options on the table, there's so many tools in the toolbox of the United States. They demonstrated that just recently in Venezuela. They have cyber capabilities, covert operations. They could have massive bombing against regime targets, and also coordinated with operatives on the ground. We understand during that 12-day war, and Israel actually said that Mossad agents were on the ground. We certainly believe that there would be coordination between people that are boots on the ground, even as we speak.
Well, so Israel's saying hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham saying it's inevitable. So I guess everybody's just kind of getting ready for it.
I guess. I know.
So the Crown Prince, the exile Crown Prince, is where?
He's apparently been living in the D.C. area, in Washington, D.C. So he's been here for a number of years. I was thinking about it, too, because I've been, you hear him speaking, and he speaks with a very American twang to his English. So he's been in the U.S.
Excuse me, still got a little throat problems. I got to drink a little something.
Okay.
So here's the deal. Has he been to the White House?
That is a great question. We haven't seen that.
Has he been?
Yeah.
Has he snuck in the back door?
Have they been talking? Do they have a hey, Don?
Has he been over at the State Department?
I don't know. Interesting. We're going to find out some stuff, I think. Yeah.
They haven't called you and I.
No. no. We're very visible, too.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Here's Mr. Fig Newton.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With dominating high pressure continuing over the northwest, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 52 in McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, sunny in mid-50s in Salem, but patchy, dense fog, then clearing to sunny with daytime high temperatures near 53 for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows in the low 30s. Sunny and calm today across central Oregon with high temperatures in the upper 40s for Prineville and mid-40s around Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, areas of dense fog, then sunny and low 40s. Sunny skies continue today along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, and Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California, with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, patchy, dense, freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then sunny and mid to upper 40s for Grants Pass and Medford, and 54 in Ashland. Sunny skies for the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high near 50 and low tonight in the mid-20s. Sunny skies continue from Redding with a high near 68 through Chico near 66 and Sacramento in the low 60s. Another day with sunshine over the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, mid-50s in San Francisco with a light northeast wind, and low 70s in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
There we go. We've actually got...
And you know which end that is.
Yeah, it's just really interesting, our valley here that has these pockets of frozen fog moving around. We have just enough wind to shove it to the north end, and it can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So air stagnation, but it is kind of a beautiful morning. We'll see how it clears. It is very cold out there. And just a little bit of reminder, unfortunately, Mount Ashland has announced Indefinite closure.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. Well, this began a chapter in history that actually continues to be played out on world news today. In fact, we were just looking at it, and it happened on this day in history. On January 16, 1979, Iran's longtime ruler Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi fled the country as massive protests and a mutiny within the military brought his regime to an end. The Shah had ruled since 1941, backed by the U.S. and Britain, and pushed rapid modernization through his White Revolution. While it brought education, infrastructure, and women's voting rights, it also fueled anger with the mullahs and their followers over the westernization of the country. By late 1978, demonstrations filled Iran's streets, and after troops refused to defend the monarchy, the Shah left Iran for good. Just 2 weeks later, exiled cleric Ayatollah Khomeini returned and established a Muslim theocracy, reshaping Iran and ultimately destabilizing the Middle East. More than 4 decades later, that history feels newly relevant. Iran is again facing widespread unrest, with protesters challenging the current regime and openly debating the nation's future. Some demonstrators have even voiced support for Reza Pahlavi, the Shah's son, raising questions about whether Iran could one day see another dramatic shift in power. It's a reminder that in Iran, history isn't just remembered, it's still unfolding. Wow.
Okay, that is very enlightening. If they kicked him out because they didn't like the westernizations, the mullahs didn't.
Right.
That's the same thing going on in Iran.
Same deal.
So that tells me that the crown prince may not see the light of day.
It may be.
Because he is westernized.
Right. So now what you kind of have is you have the people, the population, this populace, on the other side of the mullahs. Because they see what's happened when they lost those freedoms. They see, and of course you brought up a number of times, there are a lot of them that remember what it was like to have the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what came with it. And so you have this discrepancy, obviously, between the hardline mullahs, the hardline clerics of the Muslim faith, and then the people, because they want to continue to rule as a theocracy. But the people know what they get under that type of a regime. That's what they've had for the last 40 years, and now we have the situation that we have playing out.
Here's the thing we don't understand.
What?
And I don't mean that to be arrogant. I mean, I don't think we fully, I'm not even sure if the president understands it, because he's a deal maker. I get that part of it. But we don't understand from day one the disdain of the mullahs, anything in the Muslim world has for anything Western and anything Christian, and anything outside of the Islamic rule and Sharia law. Even the countries that we would consider allies, at the end of the day, they still subscribe to that.
Right, yes.
So I don't think we get this. We actually think we can make deals with these people.
Right.
And we do make deals with them, but at the end of the day, they want you dead.
Right.
I don't think we understand. And you know what? Let's just be honest. Back up here because of who we are. This is a religious war.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yep. So I don't know what, anyway, you need to be careful. What's it, the old saying is, smart as a snake and peaceful as a dove?
Oh, that, yeah.
Okay, the only way you can be smart as a snake is to think like one. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, John Piper, I like this guy. He's one of the great theologians out there. He's kind of been up and down the controversial ranks, but at the end of the day, he's a good guy. Even Beth Moore called him a brother, which is... I won't explain that.
Okay.
Anyway, he talks about the fight for joy during a season of spiritual dryness.
We're sitting in a room right now that was built in 1991, and I live in the neighborhood. I've lived here for 4 or 5 years, over 40 years. And when I was first a pastor here, I fought with so much discouragement because I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been a pastor before, and I didn't know if I was doing it right, and I felt discouraged every Monday, and so we put a big sign on the wall out there so that I could see it, walk into church, and it said, "Hope in God." And it was taken from Psalm 42, which goes like this. Why are you downcast, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him. So the answer to the question, what do you do when you're not happy in God, is preach to yourself. Preach to yourself Psalm 42 and all the other glorious promises of the Bible. Martin Lloyd-Jones wrote a book on spiritual depression. That was the thesis of the book. Don't listen to yourself, preach to yourself. And I preached to myself, hope in God, Piper. Come on, get out of this. Hope in God. And it works. It works. If the Holy Spirit is pleased to come, he takes the word like kindling. That's my understanding of the Bible. It's kindling. And he puts a flame to it with the Holy Spirit, and the fire burns, and you feel hope again. It's very cyclical. And some people with personalities like mine was just kind of volatile. It's up, it's down. I'm just fighting all the time to get back to my equilibrium of joy. So you fight with the Word of God. You fight with the kindling of the Bible by throwing it on the fire of faith in your furnace, and the fire by the Holy Spirit returns with joy.
Well, my good friend Bob Gass, he's in heaven now, writes the word for you today. We had a conversation about this one day. I'll never forget it. We were in the UK, and they had a prayer walk garden out there at their place there. It's Stoke-on-Trent. And he said, "Come with me." I said, "Okay." So we're walking out there. I had never been out the first time I was out there, so we're out there walking around. It was kind of a cold morning, and he said, "Are you discouraged?" And I kind of was. I mean, I was fighting some things. I don't know what it was. And he sensed it. And he was just a good guy. Anyway, he says, "I'm going to give you a little hint on what I do when I do discourage." I said, "What's that?" And he did this. He literally did this. He stood in front of a mirror and he preached to himself. Wow. Really? Yes. And that's how he got called into the ministry. He was a young guy. He would go upstairs in his room and he would practice preaching. Really? He preached in front of a mirror. So he went from learning it the hard way to the point where he had to live it. Yeah. And all of a sudden he would get discouraged, and he knew the Bible. I mean, the guy could quote anything, anywhere, anytime. And he would stand in front of the mirror and he would preach to himself. And I think sometimes before you run to a counselor, take what faith you have and apply it.
Great advice. Yes, great.
Do what you believe. Believe what you believe. Apply what you believe.
Amen.
You may have to stand in front of the mirror today, and talk to yourself. Besides, I talk to myself all the time. Why? Because I enjoy intelligent conversation.
I'm a warning, just in case you see something going on this afternoon, you know what it is.
It's okay. You don't have to call an ambulance. You don't have to go take pills or anything. Take what you do know and apply it.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, that's my sermon. We'll be right back. I got a great clip coming up. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Atkinson.
I learned this from the late Rush Limbaugh. I interviewed Rush Limbaugh a couple of weeks before we moved to Southern Oregon in 1983. And I asked Rush Limbaugh the question, I said, what is the key to your program? And he said two things. He said, one is be comfortable in making fun of yourself and having a good time. And the other one is, when you have a guest on, remember they're the star, you're not. It always stuck with me.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Okay, welcome back. 9 minutes before the hour. I do want to get this clip in. I just want folks to know that we're really in a dangerous spot, and I say that to be positive, so to speak, so that it invokes some kind of involvement. But we're close to losing it.
Yeah.
Losing our minds over right and wrong. And I'm talking just nature and nature's God. And if you don't think that this is an issue, this was live inside the Senate hearing room as Senator Hawley continues to get frustrated with a doctor who could not answer the question if a man could get pregnant. If you can believe this, watch it.
You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
what you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Just amazing.
Can you believe this?
No, I really can't.
So it just shows you how perverted a mind and a heart can be, even in a professional.
Right. It's political agendas.
Yeah.
And and we hear from the left all the time, trust the science, whether it be climate change or and then you see Kamala Harris buying beach property.
Well,
and then this. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, this is on the heels of the Supreme Court hearing arguments to whether or not men should be allowed to participate in women's sports. And it looked like to me the court's going to rule in the right direction, but the exchange was good, and it's what Senator Hawley did. He commended those that came forward.
Yes.
But you have a professional doctor scientist that can't even admit that men can't get pregnant. Right. How corrupt is this stuff? All right, take with you 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, here's a good one. My beloved, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Take it with you.
How could I stray too far away where you won't lead?
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride, graze back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California, or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great, and the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Experience evangelism like never before with the award-winning Way of the Master, Thursday and Friday on the Dove TV. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
And good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Happy Friday. This is where Jerry gets his kicks.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Anyway, good morning to you. Continued icy out there. Those of you at the north end of the Rogue Valley, you're in fog. Those at the south end, you got some nice starry skies out there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think the dividing line might be right here in our parking lot.
Could be.
Yeah.
Either way, though, whichever side you're on, it's cold out there.
I don't hear any airplanes moving this morning.
Right, yeah.
So we'll keep you posted on that. Good morning. A lot going on in the news. There always is. We'll get you caught up on that. And George always has something interesting.
Yeah, well, especially for those who are... Listen.
Well, there you go. A jet.
There you go.
Hey,
we have some clearing.
Maybe
Jet just took off.
All those people are back on track. They're only an hour late.
Well, if you are, you're only an hour late, and if you are fogged in, this is a good day for you because it's National Nothing Day.
Oh boy!
Don't do anything. Don't celebrate.
Do anything today?
Yeah, just observing or honoring nothing. So if that would
you don't think this doesn't exist? Come to the Dove. I'll show you.
We're celebrating nothing. All right, now we're going to go from nothing to everything.
Okay.
Because it is also National Religious Freedom Day.
Praise the Lord for that.
Which allows us to worship our Lord and Savior with no repercussions, with no threats, with no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So the statute that guarantees freedom of religion in our country is the First Amendment. It states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So there you go. Enjoy your freedom. It's also National, I would like to enjoy this day. I'm not sure that it's for me. National Without a Scalpel Day.
You're back on the table.
Yeah, I know. It recognizes the opportunities to treat disease without a scalpel. On this day in 1964, pioneering physician Charles Dotter performed the first angioplasty. Wow. The groundbreaking procedure to open a blocked blood vessel took place in Portland, Oregon. Not only did the angioplasty allow the patient to avoid leg amputation surgery, but she left the hospital days later with only a Band-Aid.
Wow.
And angioplasty is something that has really expanded in healthcare. We see it in a lot of different procedures for heart ailments. Obviously, they're doing stents with angioplasty and all these. It's just amazing what has happened. And it started on this day in 1964.
I saw a little cartoon and people lined up outside the door, and above the door it had the sign, "Stints are us." You know, there they are with their oxygen bottles and all the stuff waiting to go in, you know. So, well, it really is quite a procedure.
It is.
You know.
Yeah, and it's, I think if we haven't had it ourselves, we all know somebody who's gone through angioplasty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And boy, it sure, saves a lot. I remember my dad, he had a couple bypass surgeries that he wouldn't have had to, go through that procedure in that day and age. But anyway, it's a medical advancement, and with it you can have a Fig Newton. Because it's the only thing we have to eat today. As Philadelphia baker and fig lover Charles Roser invented and patented the machine which inserted fig paste or fig jam into a thick pastry dough. Now, the Cambridge, Massachusetts-based Kennedy Biscuit Company eventually purchased the recipe from Roser, and the company began mass production. By 1891, they produced the first Fig Newtons baked at the F.A. Kennedy Steam Bakery. The company named the pastries after the town of Newton, Massachusetts, and the Kennedy Biscuit Company and the New York Biscuit Company merged to form the National Biscuit Company, which we know as Nabisco.
Oh.
The new company trademarked the fig rolls as Fig Newtons. And, of course, they are popular. They are the third most popular cookie in the U.S. with over 1 billion consumed every single year. So is it a cake or a cookie?
My house, it's a cookie.
Yeah, because it's soft. It's cakey, but
they're good.
It's good. I like it.
They're good for you. It's one of the cookies that's good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So enjoy your Fig Newton after your angioplasty. Excuse me.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Okay, here's a guy that puts hot sauce on his Fig Newton.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With dominating high pressure continuing over the northwest, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 52 in McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, sunny in mid-50s in Salem, but patchy, dense fog, then clearing to sunny with daytime high temperatures near 53 for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows in the low 30s. Sunny and calm today across central Oregon with high temperatures in the upper 40s for Prineville and mid-40s around Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, areas of dense fog, then sunny and low 40s. Sunny skies continue today along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, and Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California, with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, patchy, dense, freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then sunny and mid to upper 40s for Grants Pass and Medford, and 54 in Ashland. Sunny skies for the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 40s. Into northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high near 50 and low tonight in the mid-20s. Sunny skies continue from Redding with a high near 68 through Chico near 66 and Sacramento in the low 60s. Another day with sunshine over the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, mid-50s in San Francisco with a light northeast wind, and low 70s in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
There we go. That's the south end of the valley. And that's slowly panning to the north, and somewhere maybe just above the airport, it's socked in. So. But if you look at that picture carefully, you can see the stagnant air.
Yeah.
So
and that shot,
it's cold out there.
That shot brought to you by the South Rogue Valley Realtors Association.
And Grange Co-op. You guys need a store at the south end of town. Oh, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
right.
Okay. They got stores all over the place.
All right. Well, Billy Graham is here, and he looks at some awe-inspiring statements about Jesus from Scripture.
Before the world ever was, or before the human race ever existed, he said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. With these words, Jesus set himself aside from every other person that ever lived. In other words, Jesus said, before Abraham was born, I always am, the eternal present. There's no past with Jesus, and there's no future with Jesus. It's all in the ever present. And he's speaking to you tonight, and he's speaking to all of us collectively and individually. In Colossians 1, it says, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things hold together. This whole stadium would fly to pieces were it not for the fact that he is the thing that holds it together. Peter's statement in Matthew 16:16, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. When he came at Bethlehem, that was not his birth or his beginning. He had already existed. That was his incarnation. When Jesus came to Bethlehem, it wasn't the place of his origin. It was his incarnation. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us.
Mm-hmm.
You ever think of that? The eternal existence of Jesus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
You've seen him, you've seen the Father.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sometimes it's hard to process the Trinity in your head and your heart.
Yeah.
But you have to get a little bit, I call it the 30,000-foot view. Well, heaven's not limited to 30,000 feet, but you have to get a bigger understanding of that. All right, good morning to you. 9 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And the big one is, what's going on with Iran? What's up now? They said that there was a pause in some of the killing there. We'll see. A lot of the allies in the Middle East are asking the United States, President Trump's administration, to hold off from any military action. And you'll hear coming up shortly from CBN Newswatch that even Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said to the president, why don't you give this a couple more days? What we're also hearing is that some kind of response is inevitable. Now, how big and how much and what length, or is it boots on the ground? All those things are yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But top officials from Egypt, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Qatar have raised concerns in the last 48 hours that military intervention would shake the global economy and destabilize a lot of things that are already in a violent region. So I don't know what all that means. I had a thought the other day. Now, there's still rumors as to whether or not the exiled crown prince would rise back and become the leader.
Yeah.
Some people say that the citizens in Iran are wanting him. A lot of people, past history, and people are saying that's not on the table. Even President Trump has hinted that probably won't occur. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu indicates that may not be the answer. I have a question.
What?
It's just hypothetical.
Okay.
So in the next whatever time, couple days, we go in and we do something.
Okay.
And the regime is either put in exile or taken out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's left up to the citizens. What's stopping one of our Islamic allies from going in and taking the country? What's stopping Saudi Arabia from taking Iran over? What's stopping Qatar from taking Iran over?
I don't know.
It's oil rich.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that in the cards? Is he pulling a deal behind the scenes here?
You mean you think a deal is going on?
You know, we'll take care of it. You go in and manage it.
Whoa, what a thought.
Well, think about it. You got to have like-minded people managing like-minded people.
Right.
Now, I understand the citizens want more of a Western input to their thinking.
Yeah.
Because they did have the internet in the past.
They've tasted some freedoms.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, what a thought.
But I don't see the exile crown prince rising and being the answer to the problem. But he's on the table. It's on.
Yeah.
It's
I think if he's the answer to anything, it's more of a like Great Britain kind of a deal, like King Charles.
Oh, okay.
Figurehead. Not really ruling or, deciding policy.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
In addition to that, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Treasury. Now, this is interesting. You ever heard the term "follow the money"?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you know the Secretary of Treasury's job is to follow the money?
Oh, there you go. What a concept.
He's following your money.
Yeah.
He's following.
People on the left don't like that.
They're following the money.
Yeah.
So he says that rats are leaving the ship. What rats? The regime rats inside Iran are sending money out of the country. And he's seeing the action going on in the world banking market. And here's what he had to say.
President Trump has put down a red line that this killing of innocent civilians, which is apparently in the thousands now, unarmed people being shot in hospitals, being shot on the streets, being shot with their children. This has got to stop, and President Trump is going to see to that. Yeah. And Rob, the other thing as Treasury, who carries out the sanctions, we can see is we are now seeing the rats fleeing the ship, because we can see millions, tens of millions of dollars being wired out of the country, snuck out of the country by the Iranian leadership. So they are abandoning ship, and we are seeing it come into banks and financial institutions all over the world. And what we do at Treasury is we follow the money, whether it is through the typical banking system or through digital assets. We are going to trace these assets, and they will not be able to keep them.
How do you do that? How do you see somebody else's assets? So anyway, follow the money. So millions of dollars are leaving Iran, going into certain banks and banks' accounts. Now, you would think that as the rats leave the ship that they would go where their money is so they can get it. Anyway, just another twist to that whole thing of what's going on in Iran over there. The other story is we are a couple of weeks away from shutting the government down again, maybe over budget funding. However, the Dems did relent as the Senate sends a $174 billion spending package to the president's desk for signature. Now, not all of this can he sign, the president sign? Some of it has to go back to the House. After a brief series of delays, deployed by the Democrats, the Senate passed a $174 billion spending package, sending it in a trio of funding bills to the president. The move puts Congress one step closer to averting a partial shutdown, but lawmakers are only halfway through the completing the passage of what is needed. Now, I don't know if this figure is true, but it was said that at the end of 2025, Congress approval rating is 17%.
Whoa.
Part of it was that what we experienced with the 43-day shutdown in October, November, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The longest in history.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows Congress's dysfunction.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Okay, and so I don't know if the 17% approval rating is accurate or not. It could be. I just don't know.
It might be high.
Huh? It could be high. Well, that just shows you how messy things are.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go out to a break, but in the department of do actions speak louder than words?
Oh, there you go. That's department.
Or do politics get involved? Well, anyway.
I think it's DOC.
What's DOC?
Department of Crazy.
Well, from that department, check this out. We know that presidential candidate Kamala Harris said, and here is a quote, "To live in a coastal community is to live on the front lines of the climate crisis." So her and her husband have decided to get on the front lines because they have bought an $8.15 million beach house in Malibu, California. Oh, my goodness. You can't make this stuff up.
Is she running for governor?
Oh, what a question. What a question. I don't know.
Or is she toast?
I think she's toast, and she better not speak about climate crisis again or living in a coastal
I kind of hope she runs for governor.
It would be entertaining.
Yeah, it would be. And you got to keep her tagged to Newsom and Newsom tagged to her. Because they both are weights on each other's neck for what they want to do.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
$8 million Malibu home?
Yeah.
Was it about 800 square feet?
Actually, I think it's about 4,000 square feet. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that above the fire line?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it above the
Palisade fire?
Or the incoming tides are getting higher, right? Yeah.
Can she see the water?
I
don't know.
This is just.
You know what we ought to do?
What?
Once she moves in?
What?
We ought to go down to the beach just below her and do a bunch of baptisms. We'll be right back.
Ooh, you know it's gonna be alright. Well, there's a love much stronger.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Happy Friday. Fridays are invigorating till about noon.
Yeah, and that plays out here, doesn't
the
it?
rest of the week catches up with you.
Yeah.
All right, some backyard stories. Yesterday, a federal judge tentatively ruled yesterday, actually earlier this week, Wednesday, that Oregon does not have to hand over personally identifiable data of more than 3 million Oregon voters to the federal government. Now, this is a federal judge appointed by President Biden is saying to the government, Oregon doesn't have to turn over its voting information. Now, let's just back this up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. I can't help but think that this is going to get challenged when it comes to federal elections. Now, state elections, that's something else, but for federal elections. This is on the heels of Oregon's Secretary of State doing an audit of the voting system in the state, recognizing that we could have over 800,000 illegitimate ballots going out. That's 27% of the voting populace in the state of Oregon.
Wow.
And so I can't help but think this is going to get challenged, but you have a wayward liberal judge saying we don't have to turn over this data, and I'm not too sure if that's defendable when it comes to federal elections, so we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. But we're also dealing with the admittance of maybe a third of our voting populace in this state is illegitimate.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know what you're going to do with all this stuff, but it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, and we'll see. I do want to say this, folks. Are you registered to vote? We're going to go into Oregon's primaries in May. I think you have to be registered sometime in the middle of March. If you've moved, changed your name, you don't know, check it out. We have a crack in the concrete in Oregon, and the question is, are we going to participate? And every time when we do the numbers, Dave Crow does this very, very well. He tracks the Christian voting response in the state of Oregon, and it's still in the 50% range.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So we have no one to blame. You can complain all day long. I remember when I was doing talk radio, somebody call in. The first thing I'd ask them, "Are you registered to vote? Did you vote? No. Then you don't have a voice here." I wouldn't let them on the air.
Wow, I'd love to call into your show.
Well, that's why I'm not doing radio. This show's on radio, but I would say, look, if you're not voting, you don't have a voice.
Yeah.
So, the other thing, this is good news. Oregon sees about a 40% drop in family homelessness in the state since 2023. Now, according to the Portland State University Homeless Research and Action Collaborative Center, there's one. Made the significant progress in unsheltered homelessness as it relates to families. The latest point-in-time count reveals that 40% reduction among families with children have gone down, and a 4% decrease overall with the remaining. So we're doing something right.
Yes.
I'm not sure what it all is. Some of it's providing services and counseling and medical care and even temporary housing.
Yes, right.
Seems to be going in the right direction.
Yes.
And sad news for Jerry, and sad news for me because I'm not going to win a bet.
No.
Mount Ashland ski area pauses indefinitely over the lack of snow.
Yep.
Now, these pictures show snow, but right now there's brown spots up there. And so they've closed again, and we don't see any significant weather coming for at least another week. So, unfortunately, Mount Ashland is closed.
Sad news.
All right, let's take a look at some of the activity on Wall Street. Let's see how it's faring with all these global news. Thank you, Preston. As you head to the spring and you're tired of pulling weeds and mowing lawn, call him. He'll take care of that for you. He's got smart lawn. The Dow's off 89.5 points. The Nasdaq is up 27.5 points, and the S&P down a little over a point. So kind of like 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake there. Who knows? Gold is still pretty impressive, 46.14. Well, look at that. Silver's down $1, $89.15. And crude oil, there it says it's up, but it's actually down $63. So above 60. So kind of mixed bag this morning and everything. I was looking at 46 for gold and 90 for silver. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
I talked to some brainiacs on this. They say this is just the beginning.
Really?
Yeah. Especially silver. Silver could get well above $100 only because so much of it, it's a commodity or a mineral that we need these days.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we are seeing more and more of these AI centers being developed.
Alfred Intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, Alfred Intelligence.
That's what I've nicknamed it. We had that in our staff meeting yesterday. I introduced Alfred Intelligence.
He was there. But we know that some folks in some communities, they don't want these AI centers around their towns because they are a huge draw on electricity and they need water.
Water.
Yes, absolutely. So I've been hearing it floated, and literally floated, that maybe AI centers will go into outer space. So who do you think would be capable of doing that?
Elon.
Oh, well, news correspondent Madison Allworth spoke with Fox Business's Mornings with Maria about how Elon Musk plans to blast AI centers into orbit.
We're here at Sidus Space, where they build the infrastructure for space, like the Lizzie satellite, which they're working on behind me. And this fall, Lizzie 4 and 5 will be sent into space on a SpaceX rocket. On it will be a data center from Lone Star Data Holdings. The founder agrees with the likes of Elon Musk, who argues that space is the perfect environment for data centers.
It's unique, it has its own physical properties, power, cooling, good legal stuff. But more importantly, down here on the ground, where we create the data, is also where we have the storms, the hurricanes, the wars, the hacking, the cyber ransoms, all of the problems with networks. And this allows us to do a backup off-planet but in country.
The Florida-based startup recently sent a data center to the moon on a test mission, successfully transmitting video, documents, and AI analytics back to Earth during the flight. Their goal? Data centers orbiting the moon by 2028 and on the moon by the early 2030s.
Whoa. Whoa, data centers around the moon and then on the moon. And in the very short future. That's a near future, 2028?
Well, you know, I've gone to these shows where technology, you know, because we have to keep up with it.
Yeah.
And the big thing for the last 4 or 5 years has been the cloud.
Yes, yes.
The cloud.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're going to move these data centers to space, this will be the first physical aspects of the cloud really being up there.
You got it. Yes.
Otherwise, the cloud is somebody's server somewhere.
Somewhere. But now literally.
Literally, it could be up there.
Right.
Okay.
Amazing.
So the other thing is, are we also creating the possibility of Star Wars with other countries wanting to go up and shoot our database?
Data centers down, sure, which really, amplifies the need for the Space Force. Right?
I wish I was younger so I could fly these days.
Yeah.
And fly some of this stuff.
No kidding.
But, well, that really doesn't surprise me. I will say one thing that I am just completely enamored with. Is that overnight we have AI experts. Where have they been all this time? And you can go over here to Klamath Falls to Oregon Institute and get a degree in AI.
Exactly.
What?
Yes.
Where did all of a sudden you
Where did it
become an
come
expert?
from? Yes.
I just want to tell you, folks, if you have Siri on your phone, hey Siri, okay, whatever, you've had AI.
Yeah.
Tell me something that Siri hasn't been able to answer. I mean, she won't answer nasty things.
You're getting personal.
Well, she won't answer. But I mean, hey Siri, when did John Glenn land on the moon? Or something like that.
Yeah, boom, it'll get it to you. Yes, indeed.
But anyway, I will say this: AI is fascinating. It's also dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where the line. I'm looking at it from the gospel standpoint. How can we use AI to spread the gospel? And when you take Wycliffe Bible translators, this could be an amazing solution.
Oh, I never thought of that.
They can go into some tribe somewhere, record them talking, and then can AI translate the Bible into that language?
Wow.
you know?
Yeah.
So there's things here that's very good, and there's things here that are very I would think if you're going to use it socially, watch out, because you're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to make something up about you that's not true.
It could, yes.
You know.
It could.
Like Jerry gave up hot sauce for the rest of his life.
What a lie.
We'll be right back.
Everything in you, from the stars in the sky to the depths of the ocean floor.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Black Flag Armory offers top brand affordable rifles, shotguns, handguns, and gear. We also offer an array of classes emphasizing safety, self-defense, and accuracy. We strive to provide the absolute best possible experience when buying a firearm. Family friendly for every skill level, Black Flag Armory in Midford and Grants Pass. Online at blackflagarms.com or 541-499-0779. 541-499-0779.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
At Rogue Hearing in Phoenix, we help you hear life again, clearly and comfortably. From expert hearing tests to custom aids and more, the team at Rogue Hearing delivers care you can trust. Rogue Hearing in Phoenix at the shops at Exit 24. Personalized hearing care right here at home.
How y'all doing out there? Jerry was dozing. I didn't want to wake him up. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Did I snore?
Yeah. The snoring didn't bother me. It was the drooling.
Thanks for not mentioning that.
All right, good morning to you. Happy Friday. It is icy out there, really icy, and we actually have some beautiful weather around, but if you're stuck in that stuff that's right on the ground, it's pretty thick and it's pretty icy, so be careful out there. All right, what's going on in Iran? Well, let's get the CBN News perspective this morning.
This is CBN News Watch.
It is Friday, the 16th of January. We want to begin this half hour with what could be next for Iran, as Iranians and the Middle East are waiting to see what action President Donald Trump will take in response to the rebellion against the Islamic regime. Chris Mitchell brings us the story. He's reporting from Jerusalem.
Even with reports of up to 30,000 killed, Iranian-born activist Dr. Amir Hamidi tells CBN News the uprising continues and springs from the heart of the Iranian people.
From Azerbaijan to Balochistan to Kurdistan to southern part of Iran, from Tehran to Tabriz to Mashhad, I hear one voice, and they want a regime change. They want a freedom. They want a normal life.
Hamidi says the regime has enlisted foreign mercenaries to break the rebellion.
They are growing allegations that Tehran is leaning on allied militia from Iraq, Hashd Sha'bis, and Fatimiyun and other proxy networks to intimidate and attack Iranians, because some elements of its own forces hesitating, fracturing, and refusing to fire on their own people.
Are you actually seeing, as you referred to, actually some of the military refusing to actually fire on the protesters?
That's what I'm hearing, because they are falling apart inside their military forces, because they seen their own family in the street. They seen their friends and their neighbors on the streets. And then my understanding, some of them are hesitant to fire back on the people.
This Iranian woman, whose father is part of the regime, risked her life by calling in to a talk show.
مردم من خانواده ایناییم ولی اینا دارن بچه‌هاشون هم میکشن سرکوب میکنن که دست باتوم دادن شکر برقی دادن تفنگ دادن که برید همشهریات رو بکشی.
With a message that help is on the way, Iranians are looking for U.S. intervention. The USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Task Force is on the way to the region. But there are some reports Trump has decided not to intervene.
The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN Michael Wall says the U.S. supports the Iranian people risking their lives for freedom.
Well, this is our message. President Donald J. Trump and the United States of America stands by the brave people of Iran. Period.
The delay so far by the U.S. is disappointing to Iranians, but some analysts say President Trump sent similar messages before attacking Iran's nuclear sites last June. He also needs time to put military assets in place. If the Iranian regime does fall, many believe it would be a game changer of historic proportions. Exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi explained on his Facebook page how Iran would be different.
In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism. In diplomacy, relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored.
Restored relations with America would be a sea change from a regime that daily calls for death to the U.S.
And Chris Mitchell joins us now to continue our coverage. So, Chris, the White House says all options are on the table. What actions could the U.S. take to help bring down the Iranian regime? And are there concerns about the use of U.S. military force?
Well, Ephraim, here in Israel, there are concerns that the air defenses here in Israel might be overstretched right now, maybe not enough interceptors to combat against any Iranian ballistic missiles. And that's why there's been reports this week that Prime Minister Netanyahu actually asked President Trump to wait for a little bit. The concerns it could be a long military campaign, and that's why we hear that President Trump wants something decisive, a military strike that without an extended campaign. In terms of the reports about Trump backing down, Senator Lindsey Graham is saying they're beyond inaccurate, and he says, stay tuned. Senator Graham, by the way, says he's coming to the region because it's at such a crucial time in Middle East history. And in terms of what the U.S. can do there, and with all options on the table, there's so many tools in the toolbox of the United States. They demonstrated that just recently in Venezuela. They have cyber capabilities, covert operations. They could have massive bombing against regime targets, and also coordinated with operatives on the ground. We understand during that 12-day war, and Israel actually said that Mossad agents were on the ground. We certainly believe that there would be coordination between people that are boots on the ground, even as we speak.
All right, well, we'll see. From what I get from all of this, just my layman's guess, something's going to happen.
Seems to be, yeah.
What and how much, we don't know.
Yeah.
And who's it coordinated with, we don't know. And if they're transferring money out of the country, that's a big deal. And is that an indication where these people will be, trying to exile to?
Yeah, I think so.
But where's the main guy? Where's the Ayatollah go?
Yeah, that's a great question. It has to be to another fundamentalist Muslim country.
What if he ends up in Syria?
Well,
what does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, a lot of questions, no answers. But here's a guy that has all the answers to everything in life.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With dominating high pressure continuing over the northwest, today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, sunny skies with daytime highs in the mid-50s for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and near 52 in McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, sunny in mid-50s in Salem, but patchy, dense fog, then clearing to sunny with daytime high temperatures near 53 for Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene, with lows in the low 30s. Sunny and calm today across central Oregon with high temperatures in the upper 40s for Prineville and mid-40s around Bend and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, areas of dense fog, then sunny and low 40s. Sunny skies continue today along the Oregon coast with daytime highs in the upper 50s for Coos Bay, Port Orford, and Brookings, and near 61 in Crescent City, California, with a light and variable wind. In southern Oregon, patchy, dense, freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then sunny and mid to upper 40s for Grants Pass and Medford, and 54 in Ashland. Sunny skies for the Klamath Basin with highs in the upper 40s. Into Northern California, sunny in Wairika with a high near 50 and low tonight in the mid-20s. Sunny skies continue from Redding with a high near 68 through Chico near 66 and Sacramento in the low 60s. Another day with sunshine over the Bay Area with daytime high temperatures in the mid-60s for Santa Rosa and Napa, mid-50s in San Francisco with a light northeast wind, and low 70s in San Jose. It's a snapshot of your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
There we are above the fog. Another reason why you want to live on a mountaintop.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's heading due west.
Yeah.
So there's a glow there, but I think it's the ricocheting glow of the hemisphere.
I like that ricocheting glow. That's cool.
All right. So anyway, good stuff.
Well, as we just saw, it began a chapter in history that continues to be played out on world news today and happened on this day in history.
On January 16, 1979, Iran's longtime ruler Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi fled the country as massive protests and a mutiny within the military brought his regime to an end. The Shah had ruled since 1941, backed by the U.S. and Britain, and pushed rapid modernization through his White Revolution. While it brought education, infrastructure, and women's voting rights, it also fueled anger with the mullahs and their followers over the westernization of the country. By late 1978, demonstrations filled Iran's streets, and after troops refused to defend the monarchy, the Shah left Iran for good. Just 2 weeks later, exiled cleric Ayatollah Khomeini returned and established a Muslim theocracy, reshaping Iran and ultimately destabilizing the Middle East. More than 4 decades later, that history feels newly relevant. Iran is again facing widespread unrest, with protesters challenging the current regime and openly debating the nation's future. Some demonstrators have even voiced support for Reza Pahlavi, the Shah's son, raising questions about whether Iran could one day see another dramatic shift in power. It's a reminder that in Iran, history isn't just remembered, it's still unfolding.
Boy, is it, man.
Well, that story of yours there, and this goes back to when?
1979.
Okay, so here we are, 2026, Iran. This is a repeat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And so does the Crown Prince become that or not?
I don't know. Boy, a lot
more and more is leaning towards not.
Yeah.
So where does that leave it? And could they possibly, the Iranians possibly go through an election? I guess he would be a candidate for election, but would they elect him?
Oh, that's a great question.
But I'm wondering, as I said earlier, if we'd have some kind of military action and we neutralize the regime inside Iran, does that open the door for one of the neighboring Shiite Sunni countries to take over Iran?
Yeah, and it could, because we know that the vacuum that is created when such an action happens oftentimes has very negative consequences.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, 17 minutes before the hour. John Piper, one of the great theologians. I don't know if you've read any of his books. He's quite the guy, and he's older now. And he shares how to fight for joy during seasons of spiritual dryness. And I'll give you a cure on this on the other end of this. Here it is.
We're sitting in a room right now that was built in 1991. And I live in the neighborhood. I've lived here for 4 or 5 years, over 40 years. And when I was first a pastor here, I fought with so much discouragement because I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never been a pastor before, and I didn't know if I was doing it right, and I felt discouraged every Monday, and so we put a big sign on the wall out there so that I could see it, walk into church, and it said, "Hope in God." And it was taken from Psalm 42, which goes like this: "Why are you downcast, O my soul? And why are you disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him." So the answer to the question, what do you do when you're not happy in God, is preach to yourself. Preach to yourself Psalm 42 and all the other glorious promises of the Bible. Martin Lloyd-Jones wrote a book on spiritual depression. That was the thesis of the book. Don't listen to yourself, preach to yourself. And I preached to myself, hope in God, Piper. Come on, get out of this. Hope in God. And it works. It works. If the Holy Spirit is pleased to come, he takes the word like kindling. That's my understanding of the Bible. It's kindling. And he puts a flame to it with the Holy Spirit, and the fire burns, and you feel hope again. It's very cyclical. And some people with personalities like mine was just kind of volatile. It's up, it's down. I'm just fighting all the time to get back to my equilibrium of joy. So you fight with the Word of God. You fight with the kindling of the Bible by throwing it on the fire of faith in your furnace, and the fire by the Holy Spirit returns with joy.
Wow.
There's so much to be said about that. You don't need counseling. You don't need pills. You just need solitude. And our word for you today, devotional, which 287 million people are reading this worldwide.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, the author of that, Bob Gass, great guy, miss him terribly. Anyway, one of my first trips to the UK to have a board meeting on this, he took me into a prayer garden that the UCB UK headquarters had. They had this, it really is kind of like a prayer walk through this beautiful garden. You know, very English, very proper, everything but the tea out there.
Yeah.
And we're walking out there, and he said, you seem to be down and discouraged a little bit. And I was at the time. I don't even know what it was. It's probably something small, but at that time it was big.
Yeah.
He said, I want to tell you what to do. I said, what's that? He said, do what I do. And I said, well, what do you do when you get down? He said, I stand in front of a mirror and I preach to myself. And you know what? He literally did that.
Wow.
And when he was a young man, developing his preaching and starting to be called into full-time evangelism, he'd be upstairs in his bedroom preaching out loud. He would preach his sermons out loud before he preached them in the pulpit.
Amazing.
Okay, well, it went from practicing to reality, that when you get down, sometimes you don't need to go to a counselor.
Yep.
You don't need another sermon. You don't need to read another book. You need to practice what you believe. You need to put into practice what you know. It's not what you don't know, it's what you do know. You get the word out and you speak it to yourself.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
The 23rd Psalm, you can read that to yourself. Psalm 91, pray it as a prayer to yourself. Okay, stand in front of the mirror and lecture yourself.
Okay.
Now, I do that driving. And then one day Siri interrupted me and said, sorry, I didn't understand that. I about jumped out of my truck. But what John Piper is saying there, hope in God. You know, sometimes your faith is put to the test. Pass the test. Put it into action.
Yeah.
Do it.
I love it.
That's my sermon. I'll be right back.
I love it. Yeah.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way. Jesus is the answer for the world today. Above him there's no other, 'cause Jesus is the way.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
Quality Fences, doing it right for you. Just ask your neighbor.
They reflect a style as unique as you are. They make first impressions. They provide space, add lasting beauty and security. Quality is a reflection of who you are. That's why all your fencing projects begin here.
Quality Fences, doing it right for you.
Gary is a very tall Kiwi from New Zealand. He's 6'6" and loves to travel around the globe to chat with well-known people. Stop by for a chat and a spot of tea with a very tall man, Wednesdays on theDove TV.
All right, how do I pause that?
Oh, yeah. The
Anyway,
show
good
never
morning
stops
to you.
here.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
This next clip is unbelievable. This is let you know that we may have lost our minds.
Yep.
This happened just a couple of days ago in the U.S. Senate as Senator Hawley is cross-examining a doctor, a scientist, who will not answer the question, can men get pregnant? Here it is.
You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
what you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Wow.
So this is just simply amazing that this discussion is happening in America. It went before the Supreme Court, and it has to do with 27 states that have rules in place that men cannot participate in women's sports. And that case was argued before the Supreme Court this week, so we'll see what the outcome is. Indications are the court will uphold the state's rights to object to this.
What happened to the medical community? How did they become so woke and so politicized instead of, you know, the core values of which they have stood for, well, forever?
You know, Jerry, that is the greatest mystery I think that we're facing as a culture.
Yeah.
We saw it during COVID. Now we see it. Let me back up. We saw it through abortion, where doctors could kill babies.
Yes, yes.
Now we see it where doctors are going to cut parts off of boys so they can become girls. And we saw it during COVID. So you kind of go, I don't know what's happened to the medical community. They seem to have lost their moral mooring of nature and nature's God. And in the plant world, in the animal world, and in the human world, there's only two genders.
You're right.
But only the human world do we think we're smart enough to change it.
Yes, yes.
It's a slap in God's face.
It is.
So anyway,
yeah, and Holly was even very careful to phrase it as biological men and women, because we know that there's a lot of gender confusion, so people think different things. But biologically, you can't change that stuff.
There you go.
Okay.
Take with you 1 Corinthians 15:58. Why do we bring this up? This scripture says it all. Therefore, my beloved, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. Stand up for what is right. Hey, that's called S-U-N. Wow.
It's rising.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. All right.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
When plumbing emergencies hit, and they do, you want help from a plumber you can trust, and you need it now. Onnit Plumbing to the rescue. Onnit Plumbing gets the job done right with integrity and quality craftsmanship. Onnit Plumbing offers military discounts, senior discounts, and discounts for KDOV listeners too. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Onnit Plumbing, CCB 229436. No job too big or small. Onnit Plumbing does them all. See us at onnitplumbing.net. onnitplumbing.net.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. No. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
It takes time to ask questions and understand. Focus Today does just that. We give you an hour so you can understand better.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. Always a delight when we get a chance to sit down with Jim Dornan. He's one of the, he's one of the guys that people want in Washington. He's a Republican strategist. Now, he could be on somebody's what list, he could be on somebody's good boy list, and he could be picture at the post office. I don't know, but he's a nice guy. We like him a lot. How you doing, Jim?
Hello, Perry. How are you, sir?
Good. Hey, I know we have a bunch of questions here, but I've been thinking about how I was going to ask you this question today. So we're going to be a little off script here a little bit.
Sure.
You've been doing Republican strategy how long now?
Oh, boy, 25, 30 years.
Okay. And have you seen the norms change?
Well, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And I've seen it go back and forth, to be honest with you. Not just one direction.
So I'm trying to figure out in today's world, because, our family has done this, and I got a dirty T-shirt, so does Jason, all that, and you've helped us get those. It seems to me that political strategy today, there doesn't seem to be any normality to it anymore. There doesn't seem to be any traditions to it. It seems like the whole thing has been turned upside down. I don't know how in the world you find your data to give advice.
Well, that's a great question, actually, especially in the last 8 to 12 years. You got to adjust. Voters' choices and desires are very, very up and down. And I like to use this example about how it demonstrates exactly that. So in the last 2 Obama elections, he won 231 counties outright. Think about that. That's a pretty large number of people. You figure a county in the East, it's probably, a couple 100,000 people. Maybe in the Midwest and the West, it's a little smaller, but that's a lot of people, 231 counties. Voted for Obama twice and then turned around and voted for Trump. What do Trump and Obama have in common ideologically? Absolutely nothing, except for maybe deportations now. But having said that, voters were looking for an agent of change, and it didn't matter what political party they were from. It mattered who they thought could make that change. And so it was demonstrated with that particular statistic. And I think it demonstrates further that voters they're not focused on political party these days, somewhat, but I think they're focused on what the bottom line is. And right now, whether Trump believes affordability is an issue or not, it is. And that's what voters are concentrating on. They're also concentrating on health care. They're not concentrating on New Zealand or Iceland, that's for sure.
Okay. So going into midterms, normally the party in the White House does not win midterm elections. I mean, that's been more of a tradition than it has not been a tradition. Trump's in the White House against every odd and every tradition known to politics. I mean, he got sued, he got shot, and people still voted for him, okay? And he got in after a hiatus term with the Biden, so that's totally unusual. So I'm not asking this in any way of saying I'm pro-Trump. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm trying to get at is this. It appears now we're heading into midterm elections. Everything's up in the air. Affordability is it. Okay, that's a good topic. We could talk about that. I understand all of this global stuff probably is not of an interest. I don't even know where Venezuela fits into the program. But it appears to me that the president's legacy is on the line more than anything else, and I'm sure that's not on voters' minds. So what will happen is he's going to get in Air Force One and he's going to barnstorm the country during the midterm elections. Have you put that into your thinking as you consult people?
Absolutely. And it's funny, Trump's numbers were way up a few months ago, and now they're starting to go way down. And it's because of what I just said, I believe, that voters aren't seeing their pocketbooks, if you will, helped at all with Trump, because that was one of the main reasons they didn't want Biden anymore. And the problem with Trump being out on the stump for Republicans is that you never know what he's going to say. And there's no continuity to the messaging coming out of the White House right now. And that could hurt Republican candidates right now. Now, it's a little early. I mean, it's a year away, which usually we would say it's not really early, but things are so volatile that they are very early. It is very early right now. And I think it'll be maybe March or April before we really know what direction the country's going to go in, whether it's going to be a red storm or a blue wave.
Okay, so back to affordability. I've had some of the best economists that I can get my hands on to talk, and I've seen both sides of the equation. It's going to be good. It's not going to be so good. But if I was to give a summation of the economy that we're heading into, it seems to be fairly strong. Things are heading in the right direction. When you're not paying taxes on Social Security and tips, that's a big deal, and that'll show up this reporting season for your taxes, because that was retroactive. People will have more cash in their pocket by November. Do you think that's a factor?
Absolutely. I think it helps a lot. And I think Trump knows that too, because he's actually looking at his legacy right now too. And I think he obviously wants it to be a good one as he leaves office, which may have something to do with Venezuela as well. But I mean, it's volatile. That's the best way of putting it right now. It is incredibly volatile.
Yesterday, the Senate passed a group of bills sent to the president as it relates to the spending package, $174 billion. I guess some of that will go back through Congress for some kind of vote or ratification. But the sticky wicket one is health care. It is the one thing that the Democrats are holding out to. So I don't know where this is going, but in your wisdom, are we heading for another shutdown?
I think Congress is a little wary of going that direction. If I had to say, based on past performance, yes, we're heading for another shutdown. But Thune is very good, the leader of the Senate from the Republican side, and he and Schumer seem to get along pretty well. I think they will come up with some type of an agreement that both sides can be happy with. I don't think they want to go through what we went through last year.
Do you think the subsidies for Obamacare is off the table?
No, I don't. I think they will come to a compromise on that. And the problem is Republicans on that. It's not Democrats. I mean, if it was straight party line, Republicans would win and there would be no subsidies. But there are a bunch of moderates in New York that basically don't think they can win without those subsidies. So I think they will come up with some type of an agreement on that.
Okay. Back to conventional wisdom just for a moment, as flawed as it can be. It looks like the independents are out registering Ds and Rs across the country. Here in Oregon, it is the case. I don't know in real red states like Texas if that's the case. How do you plug that into your thinking?
Well, that's a great question, too. I think polling, when you do a deeper dive in polling, which in this day and age you can with digital and all the other high-tech tools that we now have, you can find out why they did that. And then you start to move your message in that direction. Not completely. You'll stay with the basic tenets of conservatism or liberalism, but I think you will have to do a deeper dive and to find out why they're changing. Because in different states, it means different things. I mean, in Oregon, for example, I mean, Kotek is incredibly unpopular right now. And they've the Congress, the legislature rather, passed a huge tax increase on gas and other items that's that's going to hurt the average voter. And I think that the voters in Oregon are looking at that. They may not want to change to Republican, so they may change to, non-affiliated.
Okay. When I was chairman, we got it within 86,000 votes of beating the Democrats in voter registration. We're hundreds of thousands away from that today. Okay, the $4.3 billion tax deal that the governor tried to shove down our throat through an emergency session and all that nonsense blew up in her face, and it looks like as we go into special session here next month, that's going to get voted down by the Ds themselves. They're going to pull it because she didn't want that on the same ballot that her name is on. And then in the meantime, we have found a bunch of mishandling of funds. All this stuff is happening in Oregon. I don't know if it will be as bad as Minnesota, but it's certainly being scrutinized. This is the first time the Republicans have had a crack in the concrete for a long time. Do you think it's winnable?
Absolutely. For one reason is that Kotek is the most unpopular governor in the country. I've been keeping up on what's going on out there because of my affiliation, but it looks as though they're not going to be able to just repeal it and pull it off the referral off the ballot, i.e. the statewide referendum. That's at least a ruling I saw by the Secretary of State. It will obviously go to court, but I think that Kotek and the Democrats are going to have to pay the piper, if you will, for passing that in the first place. I don't think they're going to be able to get away with just pulling it off the ballot. Now, what may happen, as you well know, is they may just try to move the vote on it away from the or move it to the primary date maybe, but move it off of the general election date for the exact reason you just stated, that it doesn't match up with her on the ballot.
Does a Christine Drazan or Chris Dudley have a chance?
Yes, I think, and I'm partisan to Christine, obviously, but I think that the Republicans definitely have a chance. Now, the problem is some of the historical trends that you mentioned on an off-year election with one party in the White House. That's going to be difficult to overcome, and especially the voter registration difference too. But I think, given the right message, given the right candidate, we being Republicans can obviously take the governorship in November.
All right. You and I could spend a lot of time talking about Iran, Venezuela, and Greenland. We'll shove that aside for a moment. I want to come back to Minnesota and the mess there, and that seems to be showing up in California now. They're saying $8 billion is missing in California. That's just waiting to erupt. How significant is this ICE fight in the minds of Americans?
I think it's pretty significant. I mean, you've got nonprofits who are supposed to be helping people are cheating them out of their tax dollars. I mean, that seems pretty ridiculous. And the people managing them have complied essentially by allowing it to happen and knowing it's been happening. So I think that all this does is contribute to a bigger dislike and distrust of politicians and people in charge spending taxpayer money. And I think it's going to come back to haunt all of them.
All right. Good to see you, buddy. What's keeping you up at night besides bad pizza?
I may have big news for you. I can't announce it today, but you may be seeing me soon.
Oh, okay. I think I know what that is. All right. Well, it'll be cheaper to interview you here than there. Good to see you, buddy. God bless you, pal.
God bless you too, Perry.
See you later.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
I know many people that have tried everything in life
and they have not found satisfaction with peace, joy, assurance, and security. And they're still searching. You'll never find peace and joy and happiness until you yield your life to Christ. You never will. You have a moment right now. The Bible says now is the accepted time. Today is the day of salvation. People are searching for the answers. You must make the choice.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Greg Laurie encouraging viewers to know God and make Him known. Harvest weekends on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Welcome back. We talk a lot on this program, interview a lot of people as it relates to the issue of socialism, and we are seeing just outright socialists be elected to public office. What does that mean? How dangerous is it? Why is it a trend? Well, I can tell you this, it's very honoring to have with us today Todd Sheets. He's a former investment banker and the author of 2008, What Really Happened, Understanding the Great Financial Crisis. He's also the author of the newsletter On Wealth and Progress, currently available free of charge on Substack. And he does have a website, toddsheetswriter.com. There's a picture of that page, and of course Substack if you want to check out the newsletter. Todd, good to see you. How are you?
Perry, I'm doing great. Glad to be with you again.
Good. Happy New Year, buddy. Where are you?
You.
Okay. All right. Socialism. I think we're all kind of surprised that it's so visible today, and maybe by ignorance we've allowed some of it to pop up, but boy, it really has popped up big time. How dangerous is this?
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous depending on how far it goes. If it stays contained to New York and the policies that they appear to be on the road to implementing there reveal themselves to be, cause the same kind of problems that they've caused almost everywhere else they've been tried throughout the long period of history that we've now had to study the results, then maybe we can learn a lesson and move forward, and that can help us, keep from following that path. Unfortunately, what often tends to happen is that people that go in this direction, or communities that go in this direction, or countries end up in kind of what I've described as a socialist doom loop, where you create bad policies like rent control, that cause one set of problems. Then you create other bad policies like inflation, like we saw in the last administration with the big run-up that happened that caused expenses to run up. All of a sudden you end up with a situation where landlords can't afford to make improvements to properties that are barely profitable anymore. And then you follow that up with a new set of hearings and policies like Mamdani has announced to go after the landlords for not doing the things they can no longer afford to do because of the policies you implemented in the first place. And that creates this doom loop where you get this ever rising level of reactions and counter reactions to continually failing set of policies. So I think those are the kind of things we have to watch out for.
So let's stay on that just for a moment. If affordability is the issue or the word that Mamdani got elected by, and then he turns around and he cripples the very department that he needs to advance what he was talking about, then this thing is on a timeline. It's going to crash right in front of his face, right?
Yeah, well, I think to some extent it already is. And maybe if you're cynical about these things, you can refer to the political brilliance of somebody who was able to take an affordability problem that was created by socialist-like policies that have inflated costs and pushed prices up, and those prices have still not dropped back, and they won't drop back. The rate of inflation and price increases has come down, but the prices are still very high. And on top of that, those same policies have resulted in the kind of stagnant income growth that we've seen for far too long in this country. And when you have stagnant income growth against rising and inflationary prices, that's the definition of an affordability problem. Mamdani's brilliance as a politician, and he's basically following what the socialist playbook has been for a long time, is that instead of accepting responsibility for having created those or being a part of the party that created them, he's blaming them on capitalism, which did not create those things.
Well, socialists / Democrats get an A+ and blaming you for what they've done.
Yeah, no question. And, the new term is democratic socialism, but, we don't have to look any farther than Maduro in Venezuela to see the results of what started as democratic socialism. The American democratic socialists like to turn their heads and say, well, this is authoritarian socialism. That's different from what we're recommending. But if you go back to when Hugo Chavez was first elected, he was elected on a popular mandate of creating a more humane form of socialism that would reinvigorate and create a prosperous life for Venezuela. And he was widely elected on what was viewed throughout the Western world as legitimate elections. And it was only later then that he, turned towards nationalizing all of the industries in the country. And then his successor, Maduro, followed up with the autocracies that we saw after that.
What happens, and I'm not trying to be cynical here, I'm just asking a question. What happens if these apartment owners in New York just say, we can't do this, and they file bankruptcy by the hundreds and they're done?
Well, there's a theory out there that this is what Mamdani is trying to push them to do. And that basically he has announced that he's going to hold a series of hearings in boroughs throughout New York that are like, profiteering hearings or something like that. And he said these hearings are not just to create a political show, they are to hold the landlords accountable for what they have done. And there's a belief that that is a step towards the government taking over the ownership and operation of all of these rental housing projects that were formerly owned by private owners.
So you force them into bankruptcy, then you seize the assets, and then the government seizes the assets, takes over that, and taxes more people to fix the problem so they can put them in cheaper housing.
Yeah, until the tax base flees the country,
yeah,
like what we saw in Venezuela, where we've seen, now roughly 25% of the population has fled. If we put that, those numbers and applied them to America, we'd be talking about 80 million plus people leaving the country. Imagine that. So then the tax base evaporates, and you can no longer afford to take money from them to try and fund these kinds of things. And the system starts to implode on itself, and you end up with Venezuela and that's not the only example, or Cuba, or the Soviet Union, or communist China before they went on a capitalist reform model 25, 30 years ago, and that kind of thing. It's almost everywhere this model has been tried.
Okay, I guess one of the other questions that come out of this, Todd, is do you think America sees this? Do you think America in general is waking up to what New York may be going through?
Yes, I think that's one interpretation of Trump's election. I think there were a lot of things behind Trump being elected, but I think one very important factor is that a large part of the country saw the need for a regime change, which would move the direction of the country, in a totally different, move the country in a totally different direction from the one that we have been on, as the far left has become more aggressive and more successful in pushing this agenda, which includes socialism and other things, which I think, many Americans found to be very dysfunctional and distasteful.
Yeah. So let's go up a little bit higher altitude here. You got Venezuela now is in the process of falling. That domino is going to hit Cuba. It's going to fall. And I don't know what happens to Nicaragua and Mexico, but these socialist countries are in the northern hemisphere has become the target of this administration under maybe the Monroe Doctrine to protect the northern hemisphere, especially the United States. With this kind of a move against socialism in our hemisphere, do you think it's weakened Americans' global influence overall?
No, I think this has the potential. This is not without its risks, as we've seen in any foreign intervention. But this has enormous upside potential for America, for the people who live in these dysfunctional and almost dystopian socialist communities throughout South America, for the Western Hemisphere, and for the free world. And contrary to what many of Trump's critics have claimed, the more successful and prosperous the United States and its neighbors throughout South America or Latin America are, then the better positioned we are to confront aggression in other areas of the world. And so I think if we can reinvigorate those countries, help them realize their economic potential in a way that is better for them, and that also reimburses and provides incentives for us to play that role, then we create a much more formidable, block that we can use to block aggression in Europe or Asia or wherever else it shows up, or the Middle East.
That's a great explanation. Thank you. Because it's the 30,000-foot view of maybe what the Monroe Doctrine was all about as it relates to the Northern Hemisphere. And it's humane, Got a little time here left, but let me ask you this. Given that the president showed great interest in Greenland, and I realize it's very controversial on that, but at the end of the day yesterday, even the leaders of Greenland recognized the potential threat of Russia or China eyeballing their country in spite of the 800-year association with Denmark. There seems to be a crack here. I mean, the United States has a whole lot more to offer to Greenland than anybody else in the world. Do you think it's inevitable that some kind of a deal will be worked out?
Yes, I think it is. I think Trump is going to make it inevitable. It's inevitable if we make it inevitable. I think it's very important that we do it in the right way, or in the best possible way, which I think is ultimately what will happen. And I think what we're experiencing right now is, love it or hate it, it's Trump's approach to negotiations. And so, on the negative side, it has the downside of upsetting a lot of people, ruffling feathers, making people, it fans the worst fears of people about where this might be headed. On the positive side, it gets things to happen much more quickly than it otherwise would. And I think on terms that are going to likely be favorable, they have to be favorable, both for us and for Greenland and for Denmark in some way.
You think money's involved?
I think it will be, yes. I think there'll be some reasonable settlement that will end up as a result of all of this.
No military action?
I'd be surprised if that ends up happening.
Yeah, I would too. You're fascinating. I got to get you back. I'm out of time. This is so interesting to me. There's so much going on. I really hope with today's world and the ability to be informed so quickly on things that we understand that we've tried to put lipstick on a pig called socialism. And it doesn't work, has never worked. Eventually, all socialist rules fail. It has a 100% failing record. And I'm wondering if we're smart enough to see that in the United States.
You know, in spite of all of the issues that we face, I have great confidence in this country, and the history of this country bears that out. Every time that we have been, pressed with what seemed at the moment like insurmountable challenges, from the American Revolution to the Civil War to World War I and II and the Cold War, we have stepped up and we have done the right thing, and we have moved the country and the world as a whole in a better direction. And I think that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Good stuff. One quick question, Todd. I want to lean on your financial acumen just for a moment. Do you think we're heading into a good year economically?
Yes, it looks like we are. I think that the critical factor, we've seen very high levels of GDP growth reported in the last couple of quarters. What's missing is for that to be translated into job growth, meaningful job growth for people across the spectrum throughout America. If these rates stay where they are, I think they will, then I think that job growth will come probably sooner rather than later.
Todd, you're fascinating. Let's stay connected. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out his website, toddsheetswriter.com. There's a picture of the landing page, toddsheetswriter.com. Thank you, friend. God bless you. Let's stay connected.
Thanks, Barry. Take care.
Was it our tree?
But it was in our kitchen.
She came early, out of town and out of network.
If you have an insurance problem, the Oregon Division of Financial Regulation can help you navigate next steps.
We got advice and filed an appeal.
Our insurance company reprocessed the claim and paid for her delivery.
It turned out our insurance had to cover it.
But we got our house back.
Click or call for the free help you need.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. Nah. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in. We weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Well, welcome back. And this past week, our own Supreme Court took up a very sensitive topic as it was reviewing several states throughout the United States have passed their own legislation that will not allow boys to participate in girls' sports. And if you listen to any of the arguments, pretty revealing. And even some of the follow-up investigations there in the Senate hearing committee with Senator Josh Hawley. So there's a lot on the table with this subject, and I'm very delighted and very timely to have with us today Denise Sheik. She is the founder and executive director of Help for Families Ministries. She's the executive director of Living Stones Ministry. She's authored 7 children's books and several nonfiction books, including My Daddy's Secret, Understanding Gender Confusion, a Faith-Based Perspective, and Gender Confusion, a Biblical Q&A for Families. She has her bachelor's degree in psychology and is a certified biblical counselor counselor, and life coach. There's a picture of a couple of her books on the screen, and the website is help and the number 4 helpforfamilies.com. Denise, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your work. Just curious, how do you think the arguments went before the Supreme Court this past week?
Well, I think it was very interesting and had gone very well. When we look at what's happened in our nation, really around the world with women's sports and the difficulties that women have had in being competitive with others that are biologically female, I often am reminded of the girls that had scholarships at risk for colleges, for further education, and things of that nature that had been really the opportunity taken away from them. So I think it's about time that America is waking up to how this ideology, mindset has transpired through the last several years.
I think the number is 27 states have passed legislation to stop this. If the Supreme Court rules that it's a state issue, we could be going down the same road as Roe versus Wade. But yesterday there was, or yesterday or the day before, there was a hearing in the Senate where Senator Hawley really cross-examined Dr. Reed about all of this and couldn't answer the question, can men get pregnant? I guess my question is, as crazy as that is, have we lost our minds?
Well, it would kind of seem that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think, part of the problem is that people are being very careful on how they feel they may offend somebody with the sensibility of what is the biological truth. And we know that biologically speaking, my husband couldn't become pregnant. Somebody with the DNA as a male cannot become pregnant. Therefore, it's all political, and we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings that goes by a trans man that really has the biology as a woman, apparent as being pregnant.
All right, a little bit of your own story, growing up with a father who identified as a transgender, quite a story, and maybe you can give us a little bit of that and how it shaped your life.
My dad had come out to me at the age of 9, sharing with me of his desire to become a woman. Sadly, he let me know when he would be feeling this way, the hints of how I would know. Obviously, especially in that time, I knew nothing about this, but I honestly sat there and thought, you don't get this. I realize what you've been through in life. By 9 years old, I already recognized that my grandmother was an alcoholic and had mistreated him as a child. That he and his father did not get along at all. There was a lot of jealousy between my dad and his older brother that was a football player. Everybody loved him, popular person. So there were a lot of different red flags at that time. And I thought, you're trying to escape who you are for this fantasy of who you want to become. But what I didn't expect was how it was going to affect me. I personally thought, Dad and I are two separate people, and this does not impact my life. But I was so wrong, because obviously I immediately began to grieve the loss of my father. And with further details that I had endured was by the age of 11, I began to question God. Was Dad created in the wrong body? And really questioned that. What did that look like? And was that the truth? And if it is the truth, if God made one mistake, then how did I know that I wasn't supposed to be a boy? And taken that thought captive for a couple years and trying to envision what I would look like as a man, what life would look like. The struggles that continued was saving my babysitting and lunch money for alcohol, really trying to mask my own pain and confusion of what was going on in our home. So it was a really difficult childhood.
Wow. Is it possible in your work and research that young people who are experiencing confusion, perhaps during puberty or a little bit beyond, about gender and sexuality, that some of the contributing factors to that confusion is domestic challenges or domestic confusion in the home, or something like you experienced, like the relational with parents. Is that a major factor in this?
Yeah, I do believe that it is. And I only state that because of my experience of speaking with individuals that have struggled with their identity and their life journey, and understanding that sometimes the home environment does play a part in that. Not that, mom and dad are always at fault, because that's not the case. Sometimes it's the way the child perceives a relationship with a parent, or what a mom or dad did, or what a mom and dad said. Something that particularly comes to mind is if one of the parents are comparing one of the child, for instance, a situation I'm thinking of right now is where a dad is comparing his one daughter to the younger daughter, who is a total different person, and trying to transform her to be like her sister. And so there's a lot of resistance going on in that home when she just wants dad to accept her for who she is and the interests that she has and what she likes to do.
Okay, this is so complicated, but excuse me for jumping around on some of these topics, but I want to go to something that's always kind of put my brain on tilt. How and why has the medical community embraced this?
I've always thought that it comes down to money. And, when we look at somebody that is confused, or somebody that decides to transition, we look at the dollar signs. You generally have somebody that transitions and they have a lifetime of drugs that they are taking, whether it's hormones, testosterone, antidepressants, anxiety medications, therapy sessions. It's ongoing. The person believes that they're going to be free by becoming somebody else, but really they're imprisoning themselves. And that is very sad.
Given your education in psychology, I haven't, look, my world's limited. I admit sometimes my world's very small, but I have never yet met a transgender who went all the way through all of this that is happy.
I have not either. And I want to say I don't know if that's everybody out there, but from my personal experience of 26 years, I have not met anybody yet that is saying that this is fulfilling them, that this is everything that they thought that it would be. In fact, it's been just the opposite. Sometimes, sadly, there are physical issues that happen because of the surgeries they've had. They thought becoming somebody else was really going to take care of the woundedness that I consider of the heart. And obviously they discover that the problems are still there, or they're still not secure in who they are. There are other scars that sometimes somebody travels through in their life journey.
So why hasn't the psychological community spoke out on this?
That's a good question. When we look at the psychology world, I'm not really sure, especially when we talk about and look at the past years of children transitioning, or the pressure for children to transition when their minds, their brain has not even fully developed until it's, close to 24 years old. And so the question is, why are we putting everybody at risk for really an empty life, unhappiness, the result not being what they were promised or what they were told to expect?
Wow. All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Denise's website, and where you'll be able to check out all of her material. Help and the number 4 families, helpforfamilies.com. There's the picture of the landing page. Check out her latest books. I think you'll find them to be a resource that you may need. Especially the ones that biblical transgender confusion, a biblical Q&A for family. This is a real resource. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Every January, millions of Americans chase the dream of improving their health. But by February, most have already quit. Now there's help to break that cycle and enjoy real change. From stocking your pantry to building a workout routine, from strengthening relationships to fixing your sleep. With these experts' life-changing tips, your pursuit of a joy-filled life can become a habit worth keeping.
Watch the 700 Club weekdays at 11 on the Dove TV.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
All right, welcome back. Perfect timing and an honor to have with us today Denise Sheik. She's the founder and the executive director of Help for Families Ministries. By the way, that is also the website, Help and the number 4 Families, helpforfamilies.com. She's also the executive director of Living Stones Ministries, which is a vibrant ministry, and she's the author of quite a few books, and I think there's several here that would be really great for you. Understanding Gender Confusion, a Faith-Based Perspective, and Gender Confusion, a Biblical Q&A for Families. There's a picture of those books on the screen. And again, her website is helpforfamilies.com. Denise, I have to ask you this question only because it's front and center in a lot of denominations today. And in fact, it's dividing denominations right down the middle. And that is that the Christian denominations or individuals who believe affirming LGBTQ and people who identify with that is the loving response. This is bigger than just theological. I mean, it's dividing people and denominations. I mean, it's real. And what's your take on it?
You know, the first thing that come to mind was the book of John. The truth will set you free. My dad had attended a church that had accepted him being a woman, anybody that was LGBT. And at one point I had a conversation with the pastor that was the head of this church, and I asked her, why did they not teach or at least meet with my dad to be able to present the truth of the gospel to him? That he deserved that. He deserved that opportunity, whether he accepted it or not. And her response was, we want everybody to feel loved. We all do. Anybody that I know that's a Christian in my lifetime, even those that aren't Christian, we want people to feel loved. And Jesus does love them. He loves them deeply. But the truth is what's going to set them free and to be the beginning of the foundation for them to be discipled, to understand who they really are in Christ and what he had planned for their life. And so seeing this division all the time, it's really heart-wrenching. Because I say our family members that are out there, whether it's an ex-husband, a child, a granddaughter, a niece, nephew, they deserve the truth. If they reject it, that's their free will. But if all the churches stood together on God's truth on these issues, I don't think the churches would be in such a huge conflict with one another.
At the end of the day, people who fight with these identities and struggles and confusion, they're broken children, right?
Yes. Yeah, like I am. We all are. And sometimes we can look at others and think, oh man, that's maybe that some will honestly say, well, that person's disgusting, or, look at that person. What about looking inward about where we all were before we came to the kingdom of God? We are all broken. When I think about the brokenness that so many of the individuals have experienced in their life, there are definitely days where I don't need one walk a day. I need 2 or 3 walks a day, because I'm talking to the Lord and I'm saying, what else did you expect to happen in this person's life with the brokenness, what they have endured? And so we have to understand that they are broken people that need the same love that we preach on Sundays, that we try to demonstrate in our workplaces and every other hour that we can with others.
Back to individuals and churches that are affirming this because they want everybody to feel loved. From past experience, I've noticed something, and that is that those who are allowed to come into a church and maybe even be given a position in the church, who are LGBTQ or dealing with confusion, that their life is more determined by defending this decision they made than conforming to the Word. Therefore, it is a constant rub within the theological ranks. You don't see them promoting Jesus' teaching as much as you see them promoting who they are and justifying it. Or am I over-exaggerating that?
No, that definitely happens. And I think that's where we see the heart of the person. Are they really seeking Jesus? Are they being discipled? Are they wanting to be discipled and come to really know God at such a level that it'll blow them away? Or is it about self-seeking? And if it's self-seeking, then, there's not going to be any fruit in the church. It would be constant conflicts.
Somewhat on the same lines, how pervasive is pornography in this confusion?
Oh, wow. That is a great question. And pornography is a huge problem, I would say, for the vast majority of those that I've spoken with and have counseled with identifying as transgender. And I think that's something, again, that we don't speak enough about in church, when pornography is such a dangerous addiction.
Wow. I'm trying to hop around it because I could take any one of these for an hour. But let me ask you this. When you're confronted from a parent who's really confused about their child now dealing with this confusion, how do you begin to help them?
I begin to listen. And I think that's something that any one of us can honestly do. It doesn't take a counselor, a psychologist, somebody that's specified in some type of topic. Just listen and let them know that you can be trusted. So as we listen to their story, we as the team begin to understand where they're at, what type of resources do they need. Is it counseling? Is it some type of a support group that is going to benefit them at that time? A lot of times, honestly, it's working through the grief, through the broken dreams that they had, where they thought they'd be in life, where they thought their child would be, or their marriage, even in some situations. So it's coming alongside almost in a way like social services. How can we serve them best and yet encourage them in their faith? Because this is a test of faith. Often family members focus all on their loved one. They are 100% focused on their loved one. But you have to begin to ask the Lord, what is it you want to teach me? What is it you're trying to show me? Because He has entrusted you with this very difficult journey.
Is there any break in the concrete, so to speak, between school and parents, where some states the school can protect this information from the parent, hold it back from the parent. In fact, they can actually instigate the beginning of the transition without parents' notification. It seems to me this is an amazing evasion of parental rights, but how's that going?
Yeah, it definitely is an invasion of parents' rights. And, thankfully, in the last few years, at least on social media, I've seen various stories of dads that are sticking up for their daughters, particularly that are athletics, dads that are sticking up for their daughters in the public, in the restrooms of the school that their daughters are attending, people becoming involved. And that's what we have to do as parents specifically, is to become involved in our schools, in our kids' lives, and to protect their rights, to allow them to have a voice as well. So important for parents to know what's in your school library. What are they being taught in school, so that they have a way to also counter that in a safe way at home, discussing the LGBT issues.
Amazing. One last question. It's a big one. Hopefully we can cover it here. How much of this transition, gender transition, is a fad versus genuine confusion? Young people can get caught up on, my day it was smoking a cigarette. Today it's gender confusion. Okay, so how much of this is a fad versus confusion?
I think that we have definitely seen the trend of it up climbing to a fad. And I say that because when you have 2 or 3 girls specifically that I'm thinking of, different cases, that had been friends and all 3 of them decided to transition or want to transition, that's not what we would call a genuine case of gender confusion or the woundedness or the trauma that somebody's gone through. It's about belonging and pairing yourself up where maybe you're not going to receive any peer pressure, or on this emotional high that I will be recognized, I will be noticed for this label that I am given myself.
I know, it's pretty amazing. When you see, I guess the other thing is, will schools, education ever get back to boys restrooms and girls restrooms?
I think the Pandora box has been opened, and I would hope that we would. I honestly do, but I don't know if we will see that around every state in our country, because we have more liberal states, liberal representatives that are serving those states. It's just going to be a constant battle, just as we see with the abortion issue ongoing.
Well, bottom line, parents, wake up, get involved, ask questions, listen, check out the library, check out the curriculum, know where your kids are, know what they're doing. Denise, you're fascinating. Thank you for your work. I want to encourage you to stay in it. She's the director of Help for Families. That's the number 4, helpforfamilies.com. Also, check out the Living Stones Ministry and a couple of resources there, and that is Transition Confusion, a biblical Q&A for families. There you go. I think you'll find that to be an amazing resource. And again, our website is help4families.com, helpforfamilies.com. Thank you, Denise. God bless you. Stay in there. We need you.
Thank you. You have a great weekend.
You too. God bless.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.